Meow. Hi! So it looks like Shadow Priests are actually really good in 715. And we're getting nerfed. But I mean, look at this. They definitely need the nerf in PvE, but also in PvP. So lately I've been playing some Destro Shadowplay with this warlock who barely had any PvP talents actually, and we weren't even on Skype or any other sort of voice communication. But it was going pretty good anyway, and I want to share a few highlights with you guys. First, I was playing this weird spec with Edge of Insanity and Misery, Mind Bomb and Shadow Crash, and I never ever pressed Void Form. And I was actually so impressed by how much damage it deals compared to the last patch that I thought this spec was insane. But then I tried some games the other day playing a more regular spec, and I was doing even more damage than this. So I guess, yeah, the Shadow Priest nerfs are really justified. But the idea with this spec is actually really simple. First, you get to 100 insanity as soon as you can. That is number one priority, and you're gonna get there really fast. And once you're there, you're done with that. You don't no longer care about insanity ever again. So then you keep up VT and Shadow Word Pain on everyone and everything, which is extremely easy to do when you play Misery. And then obviously you Mind Blast and you Mind Flay as fillers. You Mind Blast on cooldown and you Mind Flay as fillers. And then, the fun part, you look to one-shot healers with Shadow Crash. And this is actually really fun, because a lot of people, I don't think they actually realize, they don't see the damage coming, and a lot of them just die with trinkets up sometimes. So the best way to do that is to silence them when they're around 60 to 70% HP. Obviously you can do it even when they're full HP, but like if you try to swap on them on your own, you're probably not going to kill them. But if they're 60 to 70% HP, you have a pretty good chance of soloing healers. So you silence them into a Mind Bomb, and the reason why you silence first is so that they don't dispel the Mind Bomb. Now in these games I kind of Mind Bombed first, because if you manage to get the Mind Bomb first, it's even more deadly, because you'll see. But it's safer to just silence first, and then when there's 2 seconds left of silence, you Mind Bomb, so they can't dispel it, they get stunned, they stay on place, you put the Shadow Crash on top of them, boom, a lot of damage, and then you Mind Blast while the Shadow Crash is in the air, so that Mind Blast and Shadow Crash hit at the same time, and then you spam that Shadow Word Death button, and chances are, like, yeah, they're gonna be in Shadow Word Death range, and your Twist of Fate is also gonna proc, because, you know, they're low, and you're gonna kill them. It's awesome. Like, they don't see it coming at all. And the really nice thing about the spec is that you have your burst every 30 seconds, and then even when you don't have your burst, you still deal a lot of AoE damage, with very little effort actually, just by putting dots up. And you're very hard to shut down compared to, you know, the last patch, where you would go into Void Form and then good players would shut you down with kidney shots, with fears, line of sight and stuff like that. Well, now you're kind of like in Void Form all the time with Edge of Insanity, so you're hard to shut down. You apply dots very easily, and since the damage of our dots is enough to keep pressure, once the enemy is fully dotted, you can afford to use your utility spells more, like for instance Mind Control, without the fear that you will lose damage. For example, Mind Controlling when you're in Void Form, man, I always cringe when I do that. But now, like, once everyone is dotted, you can just heal, you can do more things, and plus you're sprinting all the time, so you can do whatever you want. You feel like God. And another nice thing is if you play with a Destro Warlock, you know, he's usually the target of choice for most melees out there, so even more free time for you. But I mean, if you're free to cast whatever you want all the time, then this spec is probably not the best, because the other one does more damage. But if you play against something like RMP or RMD or PhD maybe, or something that trains you, or something that keeps you in CC for a very long time, maybe FPS or stuff like that, then this spec I think is actually better, because as I said, you're very hard to shut down, and once you press Vampiric Touch, you basically do like 1,000,000 damage, unless they dispel it. But anyway, I'm gonna leave you guys with some Destro Shadowplay games now. Oh, keep in mind that I was really rusty and washed up playing these games, but I really like the new playstyle of Shadow Priest in patch 715, a lot more than the previous patch. And once I get some more experience with the Legacy of the Void spec and everything else, I'm thinking of making a PvP guide. Yeah. But that's it for me talking. I hope you guys enjoyed the games, and I'll catch you in the next video. See ya!